You coming over a little? And we are live. And yes, Jenny Hoops is here live. We're getting a couple comments right out of the gate. All in on high school sports. Jennifer Valenti, Kurt Valenti.
Good evening.
How are you?
I'm doing well. I've been doing better, but I'm getting my voice back. I'm going to try to take it easy tonight so I don't overspeak.
Yeah, I'll take over it. A couple comments right out of the gate. Where is Jenny Hoops from Mr. Sis? Here's Jenny Hoops.
Hello, Mr. Sis. Thanks for watching.
Mr. Kirkpatrick, good evening all. Welcome to the greatest high school sports show on earth. Eddie Sis, without her, there is no show. Mr. Kirkpatrick, happy belated birthday, Mr. Valenti. So he's giving me a happy birthday.
We do give his birthday. Yesterday was his birthday, and today is my father's birthday. So shout out to my father for one of our biggest fans. Watches on the sly.
Happy
sometimes
birthday,
the next
Mr.
day.
M. Back-to-back birthdays. Kenny saying, hope you're feeling better, Hoops.
Thank you.
Sis is saying yes to something. Jay Longo, hey guys, hope all is well. Happy birthday, Kurt. Thank you, Coach Longo. Appreciate
Hello,
it.
Coach Longo.
I loved Coach Longo's videos, by the way, last
From
week.
Nashville. They were awesome.
The guy with the dancing with the Michael
Michael
Jackson. That could be our commercial right now. Kenny's saying, Kurt, you need to give me more notice, and I would have helped out.
Oh.
Now I'm Dr. Valenti to Kenny. I'm actually losing a little voice. I'm a little worried right now here.
Oh, I hope
But no.
not.
Just water it down. Water it down. So, listen, huge weekend last week. Sectional championships won, non-parochial semifinals, but the public schools, some great games. We went over it last week. We were watching them in the little cave. What do I call it? The
Sports room.
control.
Command center.
Eddie Sis saying, Mr. M, happy birthday. Thank you, Sis. But hey, excellent games. Now we move on. There's a couple of games that will be in Rutgers next week, but there's a big slate at MetLife. We will pick that later on. We have a guest picker. Made his picks ready for tonight, Mr. Joey Clams.
Yep.
Mr. Beelan will be joining us later on. And what do we got for tonight for the show?
We got another great show tonight. We're going to be joined by head football coach at Cedar Grove, Robert Gogerty. He'll be our first guest. After that, we'll check in with the Jefferson Township football coach, Jerry Venturino. And our last guest of the evening before we do our picks will be the Don Bosco football coach, Dan Sabella, who I'm hoping will make it. We were going back and forth today. I'm sure he's very busy in his preparations for his non-public A finals. But
he doesn't have a big game this week. Nothing going on.
Hopefully where we last left it, he'll be able to join us.
You know what? 2 6 seeds tonight. 2 6 seeds, Jefferson and Bosco, and a 2 with so we're not going chalk tonight. We're not going chalk.
No, not at all. Our first guest is here and ready to go, so I'm going to bring in Coach Gogerty right now. We'll let him get all situated for us, then I'll officially introduce him to our audience.
Okay.
Hey, Coach, how are you?
Good, guys. How are you?
Good. Thanks so much for joining us. Can you hear us okay?
Yes. Thanks for having me.
No problem. I apologize about my voice. I'm just recovering from laryngitis, so please forgive me if I'm a little hard to understand. And allow me to introduce you. Allow me to introduce you to our audience. We're joined by Coach Rob Gogerty of Cedar Grove football. Coach has been at Cedar Grove since 2016. His current record is 11-1, and they just were recently crowned the North 2 Group 1 sectional champions. They are slated to play the North 1 Group 1 champs, Park Ridge, at MetLife on Friday at 1 p.m. for the Group 1 Regional Championship. Coach, thanks again, and more importantly, congratulations on your sectional title.
Thanks, guys. I'm really excited to be here. It's been a great year so far.
Awesome. Can we start by having you give us a little recap of your run to the North 2 Group 1 sectional title?
Yeah, I'm going to go back from the beginning because we had an interesting start to the year. We actually went to Florida for our opening game back on Labor Day weekend. It was a trip we had planned pre-COVID, which got postponed, and we kind of make a joke of it. It all started there. It was postponed this year, and actually the hurricane hit. Our flight got canceled that Wednesday night. We were supposed to leave from that hurricane. We wanted jumping on a flight Friday morning of the game. We landed at 1:30 in Disney, late 7 o'clock that night. It's kind of a wild story of kind of where the season started. And the kids battled hard that day. We got a win, and we kind of went rolling from there. We lost to Caldwell throughout the year. It was a really good football team. Got back on track. With that Booton win. And then, I think our goal is always to start playing hot towards the end of the year, once those playoffs hit, where we play Cresskill, Booton again, which is always a tough team to beat twice in 1 year, probably put our best game together, which shocked me a little bit in that first half. And we finished it off on Friday night against Mountain Lakes.
Nice, very nice.
Couple comments from our good friend Kenny Kirkpatrick. Congrats, Coach, on the sectional title, and best of luck in MetLife. And Johnny Beelan, Coach Gogerty, my guy. Big win this week. Congrats on all the success this year. So, Coach, my first question is, we watched the Mountain Lake Cedar Grove game, and I got to tell you, Coach, your offense is so fun to watch. You guys go fast pace. You're a little of everything. I'm an offensive guy, so I loved it. And, awesome 2-point play call when you guys were down to 7-0. You go for 2. You roll him out right. He throws it back for 2. But your offense, just so fun. Can you talk about your offense a little bit?
Yeah, it's funny. I'm a quarterback here. I was a graduate of Cedar Grove. We ran the wing T back then, so I was under center a lot. My junior senior year, we started to doing this thing called shotgun, and kind of throwing it a little bit, and I'm I call myself the biggest cheater in the world, so I see things, I take them, and a few years back I wanted to create some more excitement here. I wanted more kids to play football. I wanted to do different things on offense. So we, went, I kind of, created, some of my own terminology, how I'm going to play fast, but kind of keeping my philosophies. I kind of like to fling the ball around, throw it around, and, I needed my players, and, sometimes my father remind me to run the ball a little bit, more, which, it talks about, talk about that mountain, like that Mountain Lakes game, they kind of showed us something we haven't seen all year from them, on film. They were blitzing a ton of guys, and in that first half, they really dropped 8. And, I kind of sat there at halftime and said, you know what, we got to, go back to the drawing board and come right at them a little bit.
A couple comments from Dr. John Taylor, AD at
Irvington,
the sectional champion, Irvington.
Congrats, Doc.
There it is. And he's saying, there's my guy. Congratulations, Rob. Really happy for you, my friend. Make sure the sectional trophy is in a good spot. By it says, Powys Torts Memorial Girls Volleyball Trophy. Yeah. And there's Beelan with his wing tee, a.k.a. Windows 95 or works, Kurt, LOL. Kurt kind of reminds me of us, Kurt, installing 5-wide at the junior level at Elmwood Park. But go ahead, Jen. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, Coach, the wing tee has been a hot topic on this show for the past couple of weeks, so it's funny that you mention it.
And I'm not going to throw it on the bus because we have a lot of wing tee principles still. It's just, we're doing it in a different way, a little bit up tempo and stuff like that. But a lot of our blocking schemes are still that gap, down blocking and pulling,
Real quick, our great friend Coach Bear, you say it right.
Baera.
Coach Baera. Coach Bear from
Coach.
Ramsey. Had some great games with Coach Gogerty. Best of luck. So,
very nice.
Thank you for checking in, Coach.
Coach, would you mind highlighting some of your players that have had an impact for you this season?
Yeah, I got to start with my seniors. Patch McCarthy kind of leads the way for us. He's a middle linebacker, fullback. Broke all our records here this year, tackle wise. Just a hard nosed, one of the toughest kids I've ever coached. He kind of refuses to lose. Mike Marinelli, he has about 65, 70 catches on the year. He's like a Swiss Army knife, played a lot of running back last year, and now we're, get him the ball in space. It's kind of, how I want to play offense. He's like that perfect guy for it. Nick Coletta, pound for pound, he's this, not, wrestler type of kid, 145, but another tough-nosed kid, strong safety, running back. We have, seniors on the front, up front for us. Quarterback Alfonso Lombardi, moved here last December. It's been a nice, addition to our offense. Nick Cristiano, Matt Duarte, our senior linemen, both ways. And you know what? I always, kind of say this. Towards this time of year, we want our underclassmen to kind of play above their heads. We want our juniors to play like seniors, guys like Mike Willis, James Canarelli, Denham Ingalls, those are juniors who, kind of were steady, all year long, who are playing out of their minds kind of right now and playing like seniors.
Coach, I mentioned we were just talking about your offense, but they always say defense wins championships, right? And your last 2 games, 7 points and 7 points. So, hey, when your defense comes to play, like they always say, your defense travels, and you're a championship contender if you play defense. So, can you talk about your defense, particularly the last 2 playoff games?
Yeah, I got to give my coaching staff a ton of credit. We've changed things this year. Playing a lot of young kids on the December on that side of the ball too. I think on Friday night we had 7 and 8 underclassmen playing out there, which is huge. The schemes are great. And we're feeling the way. We've been really, really good. All year long, I go back to the Caldwell game. It was 10-7 at halftime. The defense was playing great, And me as an offensive guy, I'm, kind of learning, a little bit, look, Rob, don't turn the ball over here, let them, try to win the game for us, and that, and that's been a little bit of our philosophy going in, this playoff run, take Friday out of there, If I go back to the Caldwell game, we haven't really turned the ball over. Our defense has been playing really, really well. I give that, ton of credit to obviously the players, but the coaching staff has done a great job putting our guys in those positions to kind of make plays. And they've been, talk about defense wins championships. They definitely won it on Friday night.
Dr. John saying, Jen and Kurt, not sure if you know this, but Rob is also the Cedar Grove AD. Does an amazing job filling in both roles as head coach and AD. Really respected in Essex County.
Very nice. I know you have a lot of roles there, Coach. Coach, now you're preparing for the North 1 regional final against a very talented Park Ridge team. So what do you think of this matchup coming up?
They're a really good football team, and they've, had a lot of success the past 3 or 4 years. They've been in this position. They've been in this game. They kind of know what to expect too. I was worried yesterday and today, how our mindset was going to be, what our practice were going to look like. The temperature's changing, winter sports are starting, because we have a ton of multi-sport kids, basketball players, wrestlers, So I was, kind of worried what Monday, Tuesday we're going to be look like. But I got to, tell you, we walked off the field, a few hours ago, and, kids are locked in. It's like they're still hungry, and that's the mentality we're kind of taking. We're preparing the same way we did last week, the same day, the same way we did the week before. We're going about it the same business. So we're, obviously preparing for a really, really good football team that does a lot of good things. They're big up front. They got a really good back. But we're more worried about us. I think if we can, put our, schemes together and do a good job, I think we'll be right there.
Nice.
So, like Jen said, before Friday, you guys kick it off in MetLife. What's it going to be, would you say? I never played. I coached in MetLife, but we never were able to play when we were playing high school, play in MetLife Stadium. So what do you think it's like for the kids and for you guys also coaching, but more for the kids being able to play in MetLife Stadium?
I think program-wise, it's huge. I say a lot about this win was a program win. It was guys who came so close the past few years and, just didn't, get this opportunity. And I could tell you, just by being at practice, it's what the kids are talking about. I've been lucky enough to coach there as an assistant coach, a few times. And there's no better feeling of, being in that locker room, even pulling up the bus, to the stadium and getting off. It's just on a different level, of kind of excitement. And, I think, what's good about it, I think it brings the best out of, the kids, the players, the coaches too.
Nice, very nice. Coach, we'll roll on to our next segment, which we call Rapid Fire. So it's some more like quick-paced, fun questions for you. Kurt's going to start it off.
All right, Coach. We were big fans of Bogey Hoagies. I don't know if you know the place in Hawthorne, and it shut down, right? So that was one of our best delis. So we need from you, it doesn't have to be in the Cedar Grove area. Give me one of the best delis in New Jersey, in your opinion.
Best delis. I got to go. Cedar Grove Deli is up there, obviously. I'm not going to stay in town. I'm a Cedar Grove person, too. So I got to say Cedar Grove Deli. On the north end side of town, we used to have Deli Place Plus. It just changed owners, but that was a staple of mine growing up as a kid. My grandmother used to take me there all the time, it's an old Italian deli there, so those two I got to stick with, Deli Place Plus and Cedar Grove Deli in the middle of town.
All
nice.
Right.
So we're not far. Yeah, we'll be checking those out.
Absolutely.
We're going to stay on the food topic, Coach. If you're going to have like a cheat type meal, are you preferring McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, or Chick-fil-A?
My coaches are going to kill me if I don't say McDonald's, because I've been having it every Tuesday the past few weeks for lunch. I stopped there today too.
Very nice.
All right, so you're a Cedar Grove grad, right?
Yes.
All right, so Cedar Grove grad, head football coach, AD. So you can't fail this next question. Do you know at least one lyric from either the alma mater or the fight song of Cedar Grove?
Do we have one?
I don't know. Do you guys have
trick
one?
Question.
I don't think we have one.
All right, so you're lucky, because I was going to ask you to sing that one. But, all right, so I know this answer probably. You're down 7. You score late, under 30 seconds. More than likely, you think you're going to go for 1 or go for 2?
I'm going to go for 2.
There you go. We knew he was going. We knew. He's an offensive guy.
Exactly. Coach, you grew up in Cedar Grove, as you said. I'm a West Essex area girl as well. I grew up in North Caldwell, went to West Essex. So I'm just curious, as both a player and as a coach, who would you say your biggest rivalry is with?
I got to say Verona. It's definitely Verona. It's as a player and definitely as a coach too. I've been involved in both ways for a long time.
Nice.
And my last one, Coach, who's your favorite NFL football team?
The New England Patriots.
Ooh.
I'm a Tom Brady and Bill Belichick fan.
Let me ask you, is Mac Jones the real deal and he's locked in for the next 12 to 15 years?
I think so. I think he's in a good spot as long as that coaching staff stays put for a little while.
Okay.
All right, Coach, my last question for you. I want to make sure I have my facts right on this one. You played basketball at UMBC, is that correct?
Yes.
All right. I went to UVA. All right, so we joke around that your team is kind of like Kurt's dream football team. The fast-paced offense, the stingy defense as defense wins championships. So my question for you, we're going to kind of meld your UMBC and your coaching. What do you think of Tony Bennett as a basketball coach?
Very good coach. I'm not. You know what? I was 4 years head basketball coach here. So, I've won games 35-30, at the basketball level, I like it. Nowadays I'll probably shoot 100 threes a game, I'm going to run up and down. But Tony Bennett's one of the best coaches in the country. I still follow, I still watch a lot.
Coach, I got to say, though, your boys made my day. I'll never forget, we were at Applebee's. We didn't even watch, we were like, we're going to go out. It's a 1-16, and we're just sitting there, and it's like, up 8.
Yeah.
Up 10, and you were like, she's getting a little nervous. I'm a little nervous. But then it was like, wow. Once that happened, I always got, we always got UMBC. So we bust chops a lot.
Put us on the map a little bit too,
Yeah, absolutely.
It was a lot easier. Now I tell people UMBC, they're like, oh, yeah.
Dr. John saying, Rob, didn't New Kids on the Block film a music video at your school? Maybe Step by Step should be your fight song. So.
Oh, that's great. Dr. John, always with the good comments.
That's it.
Coach Gogerty, thank you so much for your time tonight. We really appreciate it. We know you're, in the midst of prepping for, a really big game, so we appreciate you taking the time to join us.
This was fun, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck this week.
Good luck.
Thank you, guys. Have a good Thanksgiving.
You too. Happy Thanksgiving. All right, Coach Gogerty from Cedar Grove.
Giving Tony Bennett props,
Yeah.
recognizing.
Yeah. But I'm saying that offense is so much fun to watch. I love that. Up pace, no huddle.
I know you do.
And hey, you know what? We're asking the question about go for 1 for 2. He did it early in the game. They were down 7-0. Boom, they scored. There's no tie. Right to the 8-7. You know what? And it threw the momentum, with them.
Right.
And,
Absolutely.
And their defense, their defense came to play, and that's gonna be a great one. 1:00 on Friday.
All right, we have our next guest ready to roll. I'll let Coach Venturino in. Jefferson Township head football coach. We'll just give him a moment to get adjusted as well. Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to officially introduce you to our audience. We are joined by, and am I saying your last name correctly, Coach Jerry Venturino?
You got it.
All right. From Jefferson Township High School. He's been the head coach at Jefferson since 2016. This is his 6th year at the helm. His Falcons are currently 7-5, and they just won the North 2 Group 2 sectional title. They're slated to play Caldwell for the Group 2 Regional Championship this Saturday at 11 a.m. at MetLife. Congratulations, Coach, as well.
Thank you very much.
Coach, your team has won its last 5 games, 3 coming in the state tournament. You had to beat the 3 seed, you had to beat the 2 seed, and then you had to beat the 1 seed en route to your sectional title. Can you give us a brief recap of your state tournament run?
Yeah, I mean, it was a challenging one for sure. To be on the road for all 3 of those games, to go to Hawthorne, very talented, senior-heavy team. That game, came down to the very end for us. Then we traveled not too far distance to Newton High School, who was a very talented team. They were 10-0 at the time. So that was a great win for our program. And as you know, most recently, we just went over to Rutherford this past weekend and played very talented team, in the Bulldogs, and we were fortunate enough to get the win.
Yeah, Coach, again, like Jen said, thank you so much. Congratulations on your sectional championship. And just like you said, you guys might have, out of all these teams, like you might be having the best, run where you're knocking off like the 3, the 1, the 2. And, it's impressive. And my first question is, you guys came in as the 6th seed. Did you guys view yourselves as like underdogs, or did you guys have such a tough schedule where every week, you're playing teams that are all playoff teams, but did you guys view yourselves and use that as a little like, hey, we're a 6th seed, but we're better than our seeding going through this playoff run?
Yeah, I mean, listen, we are what we were, right? Bill Parcells says you are what your record says you are, and we were fortunate enough to turn around there really 3/4 of the way through the season. And we were kind of in a win or go home situation, week 8 of our regular season. So listen, we were happy to get in, and we knew once you get in, guys, at this point, everybody's 0-0. So yeah, we have been playing an underdog story. We have been, not heavily favored or picked really in any of our games, but of course we use that a little bit with our kids to motivate them. They buy into it, and they've executed on game day and done everything we've asked them to do.
Kenny Kirkpatrick, our great friend from Maryland, saying welcome, Coach, and congratulations on the sectional championship.
Nice.
Awesome. Thank you.
Coach, would you highlight some of your players that have had an impact for you this season?
Yeah, listen, I mean, I can go through a whole laundry list of them, right? I mean, when you're at this point and you're practicing out in, 32-degree weather, late in November, I think everybody has a major impact. But really, it starts with your senior group, your senior class. And, you just got to give credit to everybody in that locker room for starting the season off at 1-4, and high school, they're mental right at that point, really, even for our coaching staff. Got to give credit to those guys to just keep us, on the straight and narrow and just, keep pounding away and grinding and being able to turn it around and get into the playoffs and make a run like we have been. Listen, it's been a full team effort, to pick anybody out individually. I don't think it would be fair to say because really it's been everybody, including our scout team. We buy into all that type of stuff. So, full team effort from the coaching staff down, to even the sophomores. It's been an incredible run for us.
So, Coach, it's 28-7 late in the game, clock's ticking down. You guys win the sectional championship. Can you just tell us what that would, the feeling like you as the head coach, but the team, the school, the community, what was that feeling like when you won that game? And then after that day, then you guys get back to school, obviously on Monday.
Yeah. I mean, at the moment when it happens, it really like just takes you to a place that you can't really explain, unless you've experienced it. I was fortunate enough to experience it as a player in high school, so I kind of knew how it was from a player standpoint. So, thought it was very important to give these kids that opportunity to experience it themselves. And we just kind of kept telling them all week, there will be no better feeling. And I say all the time, it's the birth of your children, your wedding day, and winning a high school football game are the three best moments in your life. And I told them right now, this is it. This is the pinnacle. And the emotions that you're going to have, after this game is going to be through the roof. And, all week we talked about how November 20th, 2021 was going to be attached to all of us for the rest of our lives, whether good or bad. Even as a coach, just to see the players and their happiness and their joy and something they're never going to forget for the rest of their lives. You take a moment to look around and see the crowd, the stands, the student body, the parents, and even my own family. A coach's family goes through it just as much as the coach does itself. They're always the ones, there to support you all the way through. And I'm glad they've come along for the ride. I got two little boys, Zach and Luke. So, they were able to experience it too and come out in the field with us and take pictures. And my wife, Stephanie, is my rock, is my best friend, who kind of just, is there for me all the time to kind of keep my head on straight, when you go through the ups and downs of the football season.
Coach, we got a comment from our good friend John Beelan saying, Jefferson got some up-and-comers. My brother-in-law's nephews, the Consiglios, are going to be nasty in the future for Coach Venturino.
Listen, I know the Consiglios well. Very good, talented players. We do. We got a lot of talented kids, that come through Jefferson. The main goal, as many public schools would say, is to keep those kids, in your town. And just like most, you see some of your players go to other schools, and that frustrates you a little bit. But listen, you worry about those who come to your own program, and you coach those kids up, and you hope something like this can kind of keep your kids here, because we definitely do have the talent coming through the pipeline at Jefferson.
Coach Siciliano saying, excellent, congratulations, Coach.
Yeah, thank you.
Coach, what do you think your keys to success will need to be to get a win against Caldwell?
I know it's kind of cliche, but we stress being fundamentally sound. They are a very talented team. They're 11-0 for a reason, and they're playing at MetLife for a very good reason. They're big, they're physical, they're fast, they're athletic in the spots they need to be. On offense, they're very balanced, from run to pass. If you're not fundamentally sound, you're going to have trouble playing a team like Caldwell or really anybody in the playoffs. So we stress fundamentals. We stress executing, the game plan, buying into it, and doing your job.
Coach, my last one for you is, can you talk a little bit about your coaching staff?
Sure. It starts with our defensive coordinator, Bill Stager. He's been a Jefferson grad and alum for a long time. He's been coaching and teaching at Jefferson for a long time. So he's been there. He was a defense coordinator back on the 2008 state championship team as well. Him and Coach John Whitehead, who came on new this year as well. He's a former head coach from Paramus Catholic. Those guys take care of the defense and have really done a phenomenal job. On the offensive side, I got guys like Keith Runny as my offensive coordinator and Andrew Scalone as the offensive line coach. Those two guys do a phenomenal job with the offense and coming up with the game plans every week. I got other coaches, even my freshman coaches, and Joe Oline and Scott Byers do a great job with the younger level and getting those guys ready for the next season. And I got a handful of volunteers that are invested in the area. I got a guy in-house in building, Marcus Thompson. So it's great to have a teacher in-house help on out with the program. I have a former player of mine, Nick Miller, who's been with me now for 4 or 5 years since he's graduated. He's a phenomenal, great young coach. I got a World Series scout from the Atlanta Braves on our staff as well, Alan Sandberg. So he's having a heck of a run.
I was
right?
going to say, my gosh, maybe he's like your good luck charm.
Yeah, man. He's got a World Series champ. He's got a high school ring now as well. So he helps out along, with the program too. And, between those 4 guys to help on out, the 10 of us, we get along, we work, we grind, and, we get along great with the kids too. It's a good time.
Very nice. Coach, we're going to do a little segment we call Rapid Fire for some more quick, fast-paced questions for you.
Sure.
Coach, biggest win as a coach?
I would have to say Saturday, right? I mean, it's my first playoff victory as a coach was, this little run here at Hawthorne. You follow it up with Newton, you follow it up, beating Rutherford for the sectional. Each one just kind of kept, trumping the other. So go with that one.
Nice. And I hate to be the downer, but toughest loss.
Toughest loss might have to be a couple of years ago to Sparta, about 3-4 years ago. We were real close to stealing that game, ended up losing by a score, and that kind of kept us out of the tournament. So I'd probably say off the top of my head, that would be it.
All right, Coach, give me one thing you're looking forward to be eating on Thursday for Thanksgiving.
Wow. I mean, how could you not like turkey with mashed potatoes? I mean, mashed potatoes is probably the best side, right? Very underrated. But, between the potatoes, mashed potatoes, and you got to love your stuffing, I'm a very traditional Thanksgiving type guy. So give me some turkey, stuffing, and mashed potatoes, and I'm set.
Okay.
Nice. And, Coach, are you a coffee drinker?
Believe it or not, I'm not.
Okay.
No, coffee and me, we don't really get along. I'll stick to my water and the occasional Coca-Cola. That'll get me through a football season.
All right, Coca-Cola. Is it Coke or Pepsi?
Coca-Cola.
All right.
There you go.
Coca-Cola.
And, Coach, your favorite NFL football team?
New York Football Giants. Not even a question as I'm drinking my water out of the cup right here. So
we don't want to talk about last night then, right?
That was on the background as I was watching film on Caldwell. Just watching their film, it's like I don't know which one I don't want to watch more of. They're very talented, but they haven't had the greatest seasons lately. But you got to stay loyal to the blue.
All right, I got a follow-up question for that. Do you think Jason Garrett is the fall guy for what's been going on today?
Listen, it's a team. Let's face it, right? You're in football. You kind of know it. It's a whole atmosphere, whole cultural thing. It comes from everybody. It comes from head coach straight on down. So, I mean, they'll probably try to find someone to be the fallout guy, but let's be honest, right? I mean, it's you win together, you lose together.
Yep,
100%. All right, Coach, my last one for you is any pregame rituals or superstitions that you have?
I tell the kids I'm not superstitious. I'm just a little stitious. Listen, our kids do a pregame, pasta dinner night, right? Pasta parties. They go to a senior's house, all right, each week, Thursday night before a game. For me, we sit down with our staff. We kind of go over a little bit of things and just kind of get home. And I'm a big family guy. I like to hang out with my kids a little bit, get a chance to watch a little Thursday night football with them. And that's kind of really it. I don't have any major rituals or whatnot, but that's pretty much it. Just hanging out with the family the night before the game and try to clear the mind a little bit.
Dr. John saying, whoa, mashed potatoes, the best side is a bold statement. I think Jen and Kurt should start a 64-side dish bracket. Cream corn needs to be a 16 seed.
Dr. John is on to something. That's good for the K&K show.
Dr. John's still celebrating. First sectional title in 102 years. He's still on cloud 9 with that one.
That's awesome.
And rightfully so.
Yes, sir.
Coach, thank you so much for taking up your valuable time and joining us to talk about your team and your season. And best of luck to you in the regional championship.
No, I appreciate that. And thank you guys for everything you do for high school sports. It's great to have people like you just kind of bringing the light out in high school sports and for these kids. So we appreciate that as coaches and players as well. So thank you guys. Have a great Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Coach. You too. And good luck.
Too.
Yep. Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, Coach, with Jefferson, what a run,
I'm putting in another.
It's okay. The 3, the 1, the 2. I mean,
I know that's tough.
Tough way they're doing it.
Absolutely. We have our next guest actually ready as well.
Okay.
We're going to be joined by Coach Sabella from Don Bosco. So let me bring him. Should we roll right in? You're ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
Right.
Yep.
One right after another.
Of course.
Big slate tonight.
Yes, we are.
Love it.
And we got our picks coming up.
And we do. Yes, we do. So we're letting Coach Sabella get situated. And then I will again officially introduce him. Looks like Coach. It looks like you're in. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Okay. We don't see your. Oh, there you are. Awesome.
There he goes.
Perfect. Hey, Coach. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How you guys doing?
Good. Thank you. Allow me to introduce you officially to our audience. We are joined by Coach Daniel Sabella of Don Bosco Prep Football. He's been the head coach at Don Bosco since 2019. This is his third year at the helm. They are currently 8-4, and they will play Bergen Catholic this Saturday at 2 p.m. at MetLife for the non-public A sectional title. So, Coach, number one, thank you for joining us, and number two, congratulations to advancing to the championship game in your section.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here, and appreciate it. Exciting, real excited about Saturday. Can't wait for 2 o'clock.
Awesome. Can you give us a little recap of your playoff run?
Yeah, we ended up getting the 6th seed. We opened up at home against Paul the 6th from South Jersey. They came all the way up from Hamilton. We won that game. We advanced to the quarterfinals where we played the 3 seed St. Joe's Regional. We played them up there. We ended up beating them 31-7. And then last weekend in the semifinals, we traveled down to play St. Augustine, who was the number 2 seed, and we won that game 17-0. So the playoffs have expanded. There's 4 rounds now, and we've made it through the first 3.
Congrats,
Coach, like Jen said, congratulations on a great year. And we were talking about the schedule. I mean, you guys, it's like the SEC of like high school football. It's insane with that schedule, or you guys have week in and week out.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry,
doubt.
Coach.
No doubt about it, and we really think that's one of the reasons we've improved as the year's gone on. We, especially our first 8 games. When you look at our first 8 games, I mean, we played 32 quarters of like competitive, cutthroat, almost at times one possession either way football, and that definitely has a big part of the way we've improved and why we're still going here.
Yeah, and again, we watched that game on Friday night, and the thing that stood out was your the physicality of your team. The running the ball, and then also your defense. So, like you said, you guys are hot now. You're playing St. Joe's. You beat St. Joe's. Now you play the St. Augustine. But the physicality is what stood out, I think, when we watched that game on Friday night. So if you could just talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, that's something that we pride ourselves in, and that's we want that to be associated. When you say Don Bosco football, we want you to associate a physical blue collar, mentality, and be able to hang our hat on that. And you're right. It starts in practice. We practice hard. We train hard in the off season, and that prepares you to be able to go. I mean, we're going into our 13th game of the season here. These are high school kids. So being able to just hold up physically, right, and still play at that level, I think is a real credit to our guys.
Coach Siciliano saying, Dan was a great quarterback when I coached at Park Ridge. Good luck this week.
Oh, thank you. That's pretty cool.
Coach, I wanted to kind of get back to your schedule, your regular season schedule. I mean, you guys have, as Kurt was saying, like, it's just week after week. Like you said, you've had 32 quarters of like just really good competition. But I wanted to ask you, and out-of-state competition as well. But I wanted to ask you what it's like to like prepare your kids mentally for that type of, week in and week out, and then you head into a state tournament. Like you said, you're ranked 6th. Like what mentally, I would imagine you guys have to be so strong to, week in, week out, have that type of schedule, and also then heading into the state tournament, know that, yes, we put in the work and it's going to get us there, but here we are now, we're a 6th seed, but we know we're capable of winning this bracket. What's that like?
Yeah, that, again, we have our kids. One of the really enjoyable things about coaching at a place like Don Bosco is the kids really love football and they embrace it and everything that goes into it. I mean, our first day of practice was June 21st. All right, so we've been at it for 5 months. That's a long time, and I'll tell you, they love it. They love every minute, as does our coaching staff. It's a long journey. There's a lot of peaks and valleys. There was some dark days throughout. I mean, we were sitting 1-3 at one point, and we were doubting a lot of things that were going on, but we stayed the course. And these kids really showed a lot of resiliency, a lot of mental toughness, and a lot of just drive to turn it around. And here we are.
Nice. Coach, can you explain a little bit about the Bergen-Bosco rivalry?
Sure. I grew up in Bergen County and have always been a big high school sports fan. So I was on the outside for a lot of years, just reading about it and going to some of those games. And, it's obvious. It's been around a long time, and it's different when you become a part of it. You know what I mean? You go to the games and you see the electricity and the excitement and the intensity of it. But now, like actually being affiliated with Bosco and coaching in those games, it's a totally different level. It is a serious rivalry. Both schools have tremendous alumni bases and tradition, and just pride in their program. So it's intense. I mean, it is every bit and then some of what you read about and what you see.
Coach, can you highlight some of your players this season who've had an impact for you on both sides of the ball?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'll start with our senior captain, Timmy Hinspeeder, who's a 3-year starter, our leading tackler. He's got like 136 tackles in 12 games, and just a tough, physical, sideline to sideline, relentless player. A couple other guys on defense. Claudie Robinson is one of our senior interior defensive linemen, who he's going to Fordham University to play. Timmy's committed to the Naval Academy. We got a bunch of seniors on defense. A couple guys in the secondary. Our corners, Josh Baskerville and Nasir Maryland, have played solid football for us this year. And then we've had some underclassmen play really well as well on that side of the ball. Offensively, we've got 2 offensive linemen, Chase Basantes and Chris Moreno, who are 3-year starters, juniors, just who kind of set the tone for us on offense. Ronnie Heath's had over 1,200 yards rushing for us. He's a junior. Our quarterback, Nick Minicucci's been getting better every week. We got a nice core of receivers and tight ends. So I can go on, and I don't want to take up the whole show. We got a lot of guys with contributions, you know what I mean? A lot of guys, you don't get this far with 1 or 2 guys. So we've got a lot of guys who've really been role players and made contributions along the way.
Jim Lanois saying there is nothing like Bosco Bergen. He's also saying the 1983 state championship game is still the best ever win by Don Bosco. So
yeah, when you get around some of the alumnus and some of the ex-coaches, players who played in these games, the stories are remarkable. And this is only my 3rd year at Bosco, so I've heard a bunch, but there's so many of them out there. It's really cool to be a part of it.
So, Coach, you mentioned it a little bit, but if you could talk a little bit about your fan base, the community, the alumni support that you guys get at Bosco. We always hear like you guys go to like a Bosco Bergen game or a Joe's game, and you're looking like they got like the crazies and the fans and like the student sections. Can you talk a little bit about like of what they mean to you guys? Like you walk on a field and it's like, especially when you're home, and now someone's got to come to Bosco and deal with that also. Besides not just your team, they got to deal with like what's in the stands too and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's special. I mean, I can tell you just this week walking around campus, the kids are rallying outside around the Mother Mary statue in between class periods, doing chants. The whole student body is fired up.
That's awesome.
I think just talking to some of them in the hallways and stuff, if they're not going away for the holiday, it's going to be close to 100% attendance, I think, of the student body who will be at the game on Saturday. But they bring such our players feed off them so much, and they're a big part of everything that we do. And the same thing with the alumni. I mean, guys love coming back and being part of it, and just what it represents. And it's bragging rights for a whole year, right? When you go into the off season until you play again. So you definitely want to get it.
All right, Coach, we like to end with a little segment we call Rapid Fire. So we're going to throw some more fast-paced questions at you to end.
Okay.
All right, so we're big pizza people. I am. I mean, I'm a big pizza guy. So, we're going to go with your past a little. We'll go Bogota, we'll go Paramus, and we'll go Ramsey. Can you give me one pizza place per town in those 3 that we should definitely check out?
Wow. Okay. That's a good one. So let's start in my hometown, Bogota. It used to always be Master Pizza on River Road. I don't even know if they're there anymore, but River Road down by the driving range, if you're familiar with it, it used to be Master Pizza down there. And Angelo's up on Queen Anne Road's a good option as well. In Paramus, we like geez, I can't even. What's the name of the one that we go to in Paramus on Route 17? That one's slipping my head, but Ramsey's definitely. Ramsey's got a couple of good ones. We go to Nellie's. What's the thin crust one right around the corner from the school? Why can't I think of it?
The one with the K. Is that the one Coach Bear was saying?
Yeah, Kinchleys.
Kinchleys, yeah.
Kinchleys right around the corner is great. So those would be my top choices.
Nice. My question, I'm going to shift to dessert. What Thanksgiving dessert are you looking forward to on Thursday?
We get these. I get these lobster rolls from my buddy goes to the bakery down in Ridgefield. What's the name of the bakery down there? Sorry, it's late. I got X's and O's on the board.
I said these are often the harder questions.
Coach, I got a question. You guys obviously are playing in MetLife, but if you had your choice, and I don't want to say at Bergen because they're the one seed.
At 6 a.m. for the lobster rolls at the bakery.
There it is. We got something. Saw Jim Loy saying Rispoli's.
Rispoli's, that's it. He's
there you go. So my question is, if you could have a state, this state final, would you rather, if you could have it at Bosco or at MetLife, and it's your choice, where would you play it?
The kids love playing in MetLife. I think this game, Bosco or Bergen, would have a tough time holding the amount of people that might show up to this one. So I don't know if we could even make it happen. But playing in Granitel Stadium, the home field advantage is special too. So that, to me, that's a win-win. We'll take the other one.
Okay.
All right, Coach. Which one do you prefer, Nike, Under Armour, or Adidas?
Nike.
All right.
Okay. And Coach, my last one. Your favorite NFL football team?
New York Giants.
So we just had Coach from Jefferson. Last night was not a good night. And what Jen asked, do you think that Coach Garrett was the fall guy?
Listen, it's never just one guy. I do think that Coach Judge is the guy to turn it around. I think he's got it moving in the right direction. We got to be a little patient and let him continue to do what he's got to do. But we got the right guy for the job.
And Coach, my last one for you in rapid fire is: who was your biggest coaching influence on you?
I've had a couple. I played for a great basketball coach at Pagoda, Coach Jay Mahoney, who's still there, going on 40 plus years, and influenced me a lot, and still does. I learned a lot playing for him, and I credit him for so many things that he taught me over the years.
Dr. John Taylor from Irvington saying, Coach, tell my old friend Burleson I said hello. Grew up with him in Seattle through middle school. He's an amazing person, and your kids are lucky to have him.
Yeah, he's right about that.
Coach, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We really appreciate you taking the time. And, of course, best of luck to you this weekend.
This was a lot of fun. Good luck with the show, and thanks a lot for having me.
No problem. Good luck, Coach.
Thank you so much.
And happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, Coach.
Happy Thanksgiving. Bye now.
All right.
Good night.
Coach Sabella from Don Bosco.
Yeah.
And I think you guys know which way I'm going to be leaning in that game. We're going to find out in a couple of seconds.
Yep, we'll
so Mr. Beelan is ready to come in.
We're going to get right rolling to our picks. A smaller slate this week.
Yeah, smaller slate.
The games are narrowing down.
We'll break it down. But
we have some extras, bonus Thanksgiving picks in there.
There's Mr. Beelan.
There's Mr. B. Oh, dress for the occasion.
Whoa.
He might have a snappiest dresser award.
Look at this. Look at this.
This is for Coach Sis tonight.
Oh, nice. Nice. So I want to thank Mr. Beelan because Jenny Hoops was out of commission for a couple of days at the until Beelan was going to come early.
Much appreciated.
I mean, if we heard Windows 95, him and he would have been going nuts with Lou.
That would have been great.
But it was great. But let's go over this. How did the standings roll last week?
So last week we had a total of 14 games. We actually had a three-way tie for, I guess, third place. It was Mr. Beelan, Mr. Kirkpatrick, and our guest picker all went 8-6, and then you and I tied at 11-3, which brings our current standings to our guest picker at 144.93 in 5th place. Kenny, 152.85. John at 159.78. I'm in second at 166.71, and Kurt's still clinging to that 1-game lead at 167.70. It's a lot of games.
Mr. Beelan, Coach Sis is saying you're looking good, buddy. And Kenny's saying, well, it's about time Kurt invited you on the show. You're always invited on the show. That's a dagger.
Throw in some shade.
So let's do this. We have a couple of minutes, real quick. Last week, Beelan, sectional championships. Did anybody? What surprised you, or what what stood out? What stood out to you last week in the high school with the results?
What stood out? One of the games, honestly, was probably the Clifton game. I know we spoke about that for a couple of times, multiple weeks in a row.
Yeah.
But that game definitely surprised me, and probably the other one was, I don't want to say it was surprised because I know they're super tough, but coach was on today from Cedar Grove against Mountain Lakes.
Yeah.
But Cedar Grove, you know me, I've been picking Cedar Grove like all year. Like these kids are tough in that area, man. They're all those schools, West Essex, Cedar Grove, all that whole little area. It's tough kids. They know how to ball.
Kenny saying Jefferson winning big surprised me over Rutherford.
True too. Yeah.
And Rutherford jumped on them early 7-0 first drive.
Right.
So
Right.
All right, so here's what we got tonight. We got, I did the board. I always bring them home to you, and I give them to Kenny and Beelan. And I looked at the board. I said, "There's 6 games. Like something's going on." Then I was like, "Oh, we got a couple of Thanksgiving games." So we're gonna do the Thanksgiving games first. We'll start with it. Jen, you want to do this? You'll do the honors.
I will. Where I'm looking. Oh, all right, got it. I was having trouble there for a second. I'm sorry. So we have for first slated Thanksgiving game, we have 7-4 East Side at 0-9. That's Patterson Kennedy, right? Correct?
Yes. By the way, our guest picker tonight was Joey Clams, so he gave us his picks.
I will read his. So, Mr. Beelan, I'm going to treat you like the guest picker, though. You'll be able to go first on all these, all right? You can give yours first. I'm used to reading yours. This is the first time I'm not going to be reading your picks. Yeah. So go ahead. Who do you have in that one?
Which the East Side Kennedy?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. Man, you see, I'm so debatable right now. So I'm like 7 games out right now from you guys. I think it is.
I think
right? So. So you know what? Just for giggles, I'm gonna take Kennedy. I'm gonna get their first win of the season. It's gonna be a turkey bowl. I need to catch up some games. I got to get some underdogs here.
Okay.
Got it. All right. I am picking, I'm all over the board here. I got so many papers today. East Side. Okay. Kenny is picking East Side by a score of 35-6. And you know what? John, you're not alone. Joey Clams is picking Kennedy as well.
You know what? You know what, Bean? I'm going to be honest. And we're big Clifton guys. I mean, with Coach Senku and Jerry Daniel, the offensive coordinator. Of course, Coach Coyne, their defensive coordinator. But, you feel for a team like Eastside because, I mean, they're up 18-0 going into halftime. They dominate that game in the first half, and you're probably one play away from winning the sectional championship. Now you got to come back. You got to practice 4 days. Where's their mental state? But I think, Coach Magazine over there, I'm going to go with them. I'm going to take them. But I wouldn't be surprised if this is a closer game than people think. It's a rivalry.
Right.
So I'm going to go East Side.
All right. Our next game is 6-3 Tenafly at 8-1 Dumont.
I'm going with the underdog again. I'm going to go take Tenafly over Dumont. I know Dumont's been super tough this year, but I need some underdog picks right now, so I'm going with Tenafly.
Well, you will be happy to know that you and Joey Clams are on the same page again. I love it.
That's good or bad?
All right. Kenny is picking Dumont by a score of 35-14. I'm going to go Dumont as well.
Yeah, I'm going to go with you guys. I think it'll be, again, it's a rivalry game, so obviously it's going to matter. But I just think Dumont, what are they, 8-1, right? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
8-1. Tenafly is a good team too, but I think Dumont will take a close one, so I will go Dumont also.
All right. Our next Thanksgiving game is 11-0 East Orange at 0-9 Barringer.
Yeah, I would love to take the underdog in this one, Barringer, but out of the unwin teams, I'm going to go with Kennedy, but I'm taking East Orange this week.
All right. Well, you and Joey Clams are on that again. I don't think you're going to be alone on this one. Kenny's got East Orange by a score of 28-7. I have East Orange as well. And I think
I'm going East Orange too. I mean, like you said, though, you got to get through the game because again, then they'll be playing in 2 weeks at Rutgers. So hopefully no injuries, get the win, and then you go for your perfect season. But yeah, I'm with like you guys. I got to go East Orange.
All right. The last Thanksgiving game that we have on the board is 2-7 Teaneck at 3-6 Hackensack.
Yeah, I'm going with the right off I-95. I'm going with Teaneck over there. Neck boys.
Beelan's either going to be right with us or he's going to be underneath Joey Clams.
Yep.
All right, Joey Clams is picking Hackensack. He's going with the Comets, it says. Kenny is picking Hackensack by a score of 27-20. I'm going to go with Hackensack. I really want to see our friend Curtis, who we had on the show, go out with the win.
Yep, I'm with you too. I think he runs wild in this game, and I'm going to go Hackensack with you guys too.
All right.
All right, now we get to the playoff games. The playoff, we're going to call them, what are they, Jen? The group championships, we're calling them?
The group regionals, they're calling them. Yeah. So,
all right, so right out of the gate, we're going to start with the first one.
So our Group 1, North Group 1 region is number 1 Park Ridge against number 2 Cedar Grove.
So I know I just had my statement. I feel bad saying this because I'm contradicting myself, but I've been rolling.
You do that a lot, Beelan. You do that a lot.
I've been rolling with my Park Ridge boys all year long, so I'm gonna stick with them for the last week right here, and I'm taking Park Ridge in a close one, really close.
All right, Joey Clams is taking Park Ridge as well. He says he knows the AD, Chris Brown, there at Park Ridge. Kenny is taking Cedar Grove by a score of 34-24, saying Cedar Grove rolls to the championship. I'm gonna go with Cedar Grove as well. This was a tough one none of them were easy to pick, but right. I just I kept going back and forth on this one, but I'm gonna go with Cedar Grove.
You know what? And it's hard to go against the NJIC. Coach just is saying nice, but I agree with you. You know, we've been on, and I think we both picked Cedar Grove in our original predictions for the Group 1. But Beelan, I'm telling you, you got to watch them. They're like a fast-paced offense. They go no huddle. They sling it around. Mm-hmm. They could run the ball, Cedar Grove. But you know what? Hey, 2 playoff games, 7 points, 7 points. Dr. John saying Cedar Grove runs elements of Windows 95. Who can't be a fan? See, no. See, I will say this. Elements is not the whole thing. Like, you could take bits, but it went up from Windows 95. That's at least, I'd say, funny. Windows 7. You know what I'm saying? So, that's at least Windows 7. But yeah. I'm going Cedar Grove. I just think, like Beelan said, those kids are tough. And I like him a little more, but hey, Park Ridge is a great team.
Yeah,
but I'm going to go Cedar Grove.
To be honest with you, besides the Bosco Bergen game, like everyone's going to see, this Park Ridge Cedar Grove game is probably the best game.
Oh, it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, our next one is the Group 2 regional for the North. We have number 2 Caldwell versus number 6 Jefferson.
So listen, you had Coach on tonight. Coach is going to have, like I said, they're going to have future studs in the Casiglios. He knows them. These kids are going to be special in the future. And I'm taking Jefferson in upset. They had the upset last week. They're going to go upset this week too.
Nice. Joey Clam. You and Joey Clams have officially separated.
That's it? The love affair's over?
Dunzo.
He's picking Caldwell. We have Kenny picking. Oh, he's with you, Beelan. Kenny's going Jefferson. He's saying going to pull off the major upset as well. All right. I just
Look at Kurt thinking.
is he going to jump ship? Is he going to jump ship on his boys that he's had all year? I just think,
Kenny's saying, "Let's go, Beelan, Jefferson."
I just think Caldwell's going to, undefeated season the whole way through. It's going to be tough. We're talking about peaking at the right time, and Jefferson isn't just winning these games; they're winning them convincingly.
When you're hot, you roll with the hot teams.
It's true, very true. But I'm going to stick with Caldwell.
Talking about that, you got Kenny going. Oh yeah, since he's in the top 4.
And hey, listen. And the other thing too with this game is Jefferson. It's going to be cold too, and Jefferson they're farther than me. They know how to play in the cold.
Very true. Very
Dr.
true.
John saying, "Whoa, mashed potato sides gets the vote of confidence from Beelan." You know what? See, here's the difference. Beelan just said it before. He contradicted himself. I'm not. I said all along it was Caldwell Ramsey, right? I'm going to tell you this though. Jefferson's going in. Jefferson's not going to be. They're not going to look at them. We're 11-0. They're not going to care.
Right.
I mean, because they just went through the gauntlet to get here. But I agree with you. I just think that defense is just so special, and you have that special defense, whether MetLife, I don't know. I think close, but I'm going to take Caldwell. But again, wouldn't be stunned if Jefferson pulls it.
Right.
But I'm going to go Caldwell for the pick.
All right, moving on to the Group 3 regional final for the North. Pits number 1 Cranford versus number 1 from their section, West Morris.
So, Cranford beat me last week. They played Sparta last week, I think, right?
I believe they did.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I believe they did.
They beat Sparta last week.
They beat up Sparta.
Yeah, I'm gonna. You know what? We're going with the West Morris boys right now. I'm coming out guns blazing this week. I'm picking all the underdogs this week.
Well, you and Joey Clams have reunited. He's picking West Morris as well. Joey Clams. Kenny has Cranford by a score of 28-21. He says.
So Kenny's going. I'm sorry.
Cranford.
Okay.
What about here? Cranford wears down West Morris late is his prediction. I picked Cranford to win this game from the onset, so I'm sticking with them.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm with you. We had Coach Kip Finley, a good friend of mine, basically said, "Listen to this now, Beelan." And we're talking, we had Coach Sabella on. We talk about St. Peter's, Bosco, Joe's, and Bergen, all that. And he said on the Friday night show that Cranford has one of the biggest offensive lines around.
Wow.
So
I think they had it in the paper. I think they were talking about not the paper, but the online thing. They were saying they had like the top 10 offensive linemen, and like their average was 6'3", 290 or something like that.
Yeah, so he said it was one of the biggest ones he saw for a public school like that at Group 3. Hey, they're gonna run the ball in MetLife, and I'm telling you, we watched them versus Pascack Valley, and I picked that upset, and they just woodshed it. It was 49-7 or something like that. Then they did it again last week, so I'm on the Cranford bandwagon.
All right, then we go to our 2 non-public.
Dr. John
finals.
saying we scrimmage Cranford in August. Their O-line is legit.
Nice. All right, the first non-public is non-public B. We got number 1 DePaul against number 2 Red Bank Catholic.
I'm going Coach Campanella. DePaul, baby. Let's go.
Joey Clams has DePaul. Kenny's picking DePaul by a score of 21-14. Says DePaul defense comes up big. We've been talking about this, since the state tournament began, how their exposure all year long to those non-public A schools is really helping them in this bracket. So I picked them from the beginning. I'm sticking with them as well, DePaul.
Yeah, I picked them too. And I'm not going to lie, though. This game was 2 weeks ago, it would be okay, no matter what, it's going to be DePaul. Maybe I would put him with St. Joe's or Hamilton. But you know what? Especially with that story with the quarterback, his mom unfortunately passed away, comes back, he scores 6 touchdowns. And I was talking to somebody the other day, and might have been my friend Lou, and he's just like, Red Bank's gonna win. Like, so I don't know. I was like, should I change it? But I'm not. I'm gonna stay with DePaul. Coach Campanelli, Coach Bertola. Hope those guys get it. And they're, like you said, their defense is, again, one of the best in the state. I mean, you shut out St. Joe's of Montvale. You know, I mean, you're pretty damn good, and you're playing, like you're saying, you're playing up.
Right.
So I'll go with DePaul too.
All right. Mr. Beelan, I feel like this is the game we've been waiting for to see what Kurt picks.
Can we skip this one and go to the other one and come back to this last?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah,
Of course.
All right. So the other game we're going to pick is the Ramapo Northern Highlands game. So this is actually the North 1 Group 1 sectional final that got postponed, and then Irvington awaits this winner for the Group 4 regional final. So this is that sectional final that got postponed. So we have number 2 Ramapo at number 1 Northern Highlands.
Yeah, I listen. Crazy stuff would happen with Coach Gibbs with Ramapo. Those kids are, it's gonna be a hit or miss with those kids. Either they're gonna be super hyped up with super adrenaline, or they're gonna have that whole, Coach Gibbs thing in the back of their head type of, trying to win it. And sometimes you push yourself a little bit too much. So if the kids get their heads on, straight and they're focused and they got their blinders on, Ramapo could definitely pull this out. But I'm going to take Northern Highlands in this one.
All right. Excuse me. We got Joey Clams taking Ramapo.
By the way, Coach, this is given the prayers.
Oh, nice. We have
Coach Gibbs.
Kenny picking Ramapo by a score of 35-27. Ramapo makes Coach Gibbs smile from above. Very nice, Kenny. I am going to pick Ramapo as well. How about you?
Listen, I just saw an article I read on North Jersey, and Coach Gibbs' son, who's on the staff, basically said, like, Coach Gibbs is the head coach this week, and he's going for whatever 188th or whatever the win is, but he said, like, he's the head coach in this game. Not the son, I mean, Coach Gibbs. And listen, I mean, I'm just going to say this, that, coaching up there with these kids and, the work ethic, and, back in 2001, and Coach Sis can say, we would be out of practice. Our practice would end at 6:00. We'd still be doing film. We'd come back at 8:00. The kids are back up there throwing pass routes. Like, they don't want to be denied, and 184, Mark Breslin's saying it would be 100, going for 184 for Coach Gibbs. And you know what? It's just like you said, Beelan, like, these kids, I mean, I don't know, like, like you're saying, that emotion, they're going to go on that field. They're not going to have, Coach Gibbs on that field, but Coach Gibbs will be with those kids from above. And, you got Coach O, Coach Breslin, Little Gibbs, Coach Anzano, Coach Esposito. Those are Ramapo kids that played under Coach Gibbs. And I'm going to say that, those kids are not going to get denied on Friday night. They're not. And, Northern Highlands is good. I mean, don't get me wrong. They're good. But, I mean, I would say under any circumstance, I would still take Ramapo. But this circumstance, I mean, that place is going to be rocking, the emotions in that game. And Ramapo's going to get it done. Ramapo will get that done.
All right, and our last...
One more, we got a comment, big comment coming in. I just want to make sure. Coach Dr. John, NJSIA called and asked us, Middletown South and Northern Highlands, we would be willing to postpone the regional title game. It had to be agreed upon by all teams because it deviated from the playoff calendar. We all agree with no issues. We lost the chance to play at MetLife, but there are bigger things with Coach Gibbs. Nikki Guts, too. Yes, Coach Guts, the Coach Gattuso, the O-line coach there. Sorry about that, sis. But you know what? And I said this Friday night when we did the show with Kenny. Middletown South, Irvington, Northern Highlands, hey, hats off to what you guys did. Because Coach John's saying, like Dr. John's saying, they didn't have to do it. And you know what? Those kids did give up that right to play at MetLife. Yeah. So, all the credit in the world to those three programs for doing that and doing the right thing. And he's saying the regional title game will be next week at Rutgers instead. So hats off to them, and an unbelievable job. But I'm going Ramapo.
You know what I would love for them to see to do, if anyone's listening, if they pass it through, but make Coach Gibbs the captain for the game.
Oh, nice, yeah.
That would be that'd be dope.
All right, and our last game, Beelan, you asked us to have it as like our finale, is the non-public A sectional final matchup between number 1 Bergen Catholic and number 6 Don Bosco, Coach Sabella, who we just had on this evening. So, Mr. Beelan, who do you have in this one?
I'm going straight BC. That's it. That's it.
Joey Clams. He's saying BC won last time. They're going to do it again. Joey Clams is picking Bergen Catholic.
Look at Kurt.
Kenny is going with a little bit of an upset. He's picking Bosco. He says Bosco with a late field goal will pull off the upset. So Kenny's got Bosco. You know, we've had the not a debate, but you've said there won't be an undefeated team for that conference. I said there would be. It would be Bergen Catholic, so I'm going to stick to my guns, and I'm picking Bergen Catholic. I wish Coach Sabella nothing but the best of luck, of course. I think it's going to be a great game.
Beelan, what have I said all along, all year? What have I said? She just said it. What did I say? Nobody will be what?
Be undefeated.
Nobody will be undefeated. What do I also say on all kinds of levels? High school, college, pros. What wins championships?
Defense.
Yeah, it's defense.
And what else? Offensively.
Run game.
I'm telling you right now. They're lining up on Saturday, and they're going to say power here, power there, ISO blast here, maybe a little play action, bink, bink, bink. But Bosco is the most physical team right now in North Jersey. You're going into the medal, and listen, not that Bergen's not physical. They are. But I think sometimes Bergen just gets a little with the, we're going to play where Bosco's going to come right out. And I'm telling you, Kenny, I don't agree with a lot of stuff you've been saying lately. But I'm with you, Mr. Kirkpatrick. Don Bosco is winning this state title in this Meadowlands. Low scoring. They got a freshman kicker. But I'm telling you, they're leaning on that O-line, Beelan. And they're going to run it and run it and run it and play defense, capitalize on a turnover. I kept my word. I'm going Bosco. Kenny's saying exactly, Kurt, keep the BC offense off the field. Real quick, Kurt, because Kenny's yelling at me. Are you forgetting Maryland again? We're not forgetting Maryland. I want to talk real quick. It's Huntingtown against
Miller. I want to make sure I get it correct. Milford Mill Academy.
Right. So 10-1. I think Huntingtown's 9-1.
No, Huntingtown's 10-1.
11-1, right?
11-1.
Okay. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm not gonna put it on the official pick because I didn't do the logo. By the way, Mark Breslin saying saw Sabella play with a torn ACL at Pagoda. Was still the best player on the field. His kids will be prepared.
Oh, that's very nice.
Look at Beelan. Beelan just got the shakes after that comment.
I don't think so.
Coach Sabella's not the one on the field.
He's game planning it though, baby.
But by the way, has it been notified if the games are being live streamed from like NJ.com?
I believe I want to say they are, but I will double check with you on that because we are the streaming kings. Dr. John saying if I'm doing the math right, Jen can take the lead over with their differences in the picks. I seen hashtag Team Jen shirts going on sale soon. Well, what other game did we switch?
I think I can tie him. I think the only difference we have is the Bosco one. So. That's going to be a determining factor.
You know what it might come down to? Whoever wins versus Irvington. That might be the deciding game.
That would be great.
Ramapo or Highlands against Irvington. That might be the deciding game for everything.
Oh my God, that's awesome. That would be so perfect. Oh, but I like it. Too funny.
But we'll find that out, Beelan. But let me ask you this real quick, because Beelan obviously said Bosco Prep, Bosco Bergen, then he said Cedar Grove, Park Ridge. What about you? You're two. Mine's Ramapo Northern Highlands. I just want to see that atmosphere. Mm-hmm. Dr. John says I'm not watching the show next week. I want to see that atmosphere. I'm telling you, it's just going to be electric in there. Electric, the emotions. So that's my first one. And then I'm going to go, obviously, Bergen. I agree with Beelan's on those two. How about you?
You know what? We were talking about this a little bit over dinner. Yes, because that's what our dinner conversations are. But I couldn't pick one that wasn't going to be good. There isn't. They're all going to be good.
They're
games.
all going to be good.
I guess I'm a little partial, having grown up in the West Essex area, to the Cedar Grove and the Caldwell games. I want to see those as I picked them. I think they're both great teams, but also being, growing up in the area. But again, like you said, the emotions of the Ramapo game, the stage of the Bergen Catholic Don Bosco, not to take anything away from the other two games, but I think they're all going to be good.
Now, I have two more quick things. By the way, Kenny's saying, do your homework on Huntingtown, Kurt. You may need them in the pick. So you know what? We're not going to do it. This isn't for the record, but Huntingtown versus that team. Who do you got?
You know what? Huntingtown's been our team all year.
Yeah, all year.
So I'm going to go with them, too.
There's no way I'm not going to pick them.
And Penny's going to pick them. Now, one more thing, and Beelan, I'll start with you, because, again, I read this the other day, that they considered, and I don't know if Dr. John might be able to fill us in more, but I saw a report that they considered putting that Ramapo Northern Highlands sectional final at MetLife, but then it would have bumped a legit group championship, so they decided not to do it. But do you think they should have, Beelan?
I don't think they should have disrupted what was happening. They easily could have put that game in. I mean, where's the game happening? It's
Northern Highlands.
It's happening in Northern Highlands?
Yeah.
I mean, they probably could have done it somewhere else. They probably could have done it, if Rutgers was open. They could have done it maybe at like Seton Hall, or some like big school. They probably could have done it at. But I don't know. I don't think they should have disrupt. I'm not gonna say to disrupt. What happened, pushing it back the following week. But then you're also gonna put it in between games and stuff like that. And you don't want to get into trouble with the times and everything else too, because I'm sure there's a lot of rules and regulations too when it comes to a lot of things with that. At the stadium. So. Yeah, I don't know. Yes, but no. I think they should just put it maybe on a bigger field somewhere.
What about you?
You know what? I think the sentiment is in the right place with that.
Yeah.
I just don't think you already had a lot of moving parts that had to kind of agree to even get it moved. And here's Irvington giving up the right to play there, and now he's, a team that's going to lose in the sectional final is going to play there, and Northern Highlands would be giving up their home field advantage as much as they might like to play in MetLife. There's so many things to contend. So I think the sentiment is nice, but I agree with John. I think keeping it as is for sectional finals for this was probably the right way to go.
And I agree exactly what Kenny's saying. No, I think Highland should be playing home into the finals also, like every other team. I agree with them. That that's your home game.
Right.
It should be there.
Right.
And Dr. John is saying, yep, there was talk of that. Had to do with the rental fees for MetLife. The game would have had to be earlier than the first or game, like 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. start. Getting into like cost for vendor security, etc., really cost prohibitive. So, I listen. I just think that's just the emotion in that stadium Friday night is just going to be off the charts.
Well, I mean, we heard there's already 7,000 tickets.
There's tons.
Sold, right?
Tons of
I
tickets.
can't even imagine that area with 7,000 fans.
I mean, listen. I think they're going to allow them to be there early for tailgating. And what's the earliest game? 1:00, right? So they're, oh no.
Yeah, well, 1:00, but remember, Ramapo, that game's by itself. That game's going to be at Northern Highlands. So they're not in MetLife.
But Friday it's 1:00 and 4:00, and then 7 o'clock?
4 and 7, yeah. Park Ridge and Cedar Grove. Then I believe it goes to, is it the Cranford West Morris, and then the DePaul Red Bank Catholic is the night game at MetLife.
Yeah, and then Saturday they started at 11. So
yeah.
you're probably gonna have that place should open 3 hours. You're gonna have people there at like 7 o'clock, you know, for those games. So, I think it's gonna be great. It's gonna be super exciting, and people underestimate high school sports and just football in general. Man, it's electrifying. It's. People down south know it way better than we do because that's what they do all the time. And more and more people just understand it and get people more out. Like everyone says, like the best thing is when people come out and show their faces at the games, So I think there's going to be a lot of people at these games this weekend.
Yep. Hope so. All right. Final thoughts, Jenny Hoops. Thank you, by the way, for fighting through the laryngitis. You're getting a little better.
Yeah, this is actually a huge improvement. But I don't know, like we said, there's really nothing left to say. I think we said it all. Just best of luck to all the teams that are still alive. A huge thank you to the coaches. You know, we always thank our coaches for coming on, and they're always busy. But you know what? Like, these guys got they're possibly their biggest game coming up, and for them to take
they
the
probably
time
haven't
away,
been home. They're probably not eating dinner. You're doing film. It's only Tuesday. You know, you're still game planning.
And you know, it just also shows how much, because they want to give their programs and their kids the notoriety, and it just again speaks volumes about, you know, how much they go above and beyond for their teams and their programs. So best of luck to everybody.
One more comment for Dr. John. I lived in North Carolina for 7 years. College football is crazy, but it has nothing on the passion for high school football in New Jersey.
Nice.
So,
hey, Coach Taylor. I'm drawing a blank real quick. Coach Taylor. We need our shirts.
Well, champion gear is getting made, John. Championship's getting made. Well, you know what Jen said to me? Jen says to me the other day, she goes, you know, about gear, about championship gear, whatever. And then she says to me, why aren't you wearing your wedding ring? And then you know what I said? I got to keep it bare because I'm getting my Irvington one coming soon. So I got to keep my finger fresh.
Yeah, next year when or maybe even this year, we want the next thing with wrestling or track or basketball and baseball coming in. We definitely got to reach out and get some swag from teams so we can, you know, sponsor them and get them little stuff going up and stuff like that. So
Dr. John just said ordered this morning. I don't know if he's talking about your shirts or my ring that's coming in.
Ridiculous.
And my last thing, think about this. I just turned 47. You're what?
46.
So that's what? 93. Beelan, how old are you?
36.
36. So what is it? 90?
With this.
Me and you together are what? 93.
Oh, years.
Add Beelan.
93 plus 36?
Yeah.
129.
We're almost, all three of us together, for it was almost their sectional title. Championship. So how many years? Dr. John saying, Jen, that made my day. So that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna hold off because I don't want to pierce anything. Because when I have to get measured for, I want to make sure it's not swollen or anything.
Oh
so,
my gosh!
You know, that's
never stops.
All right, Beelan, thank you, sir. Good luck to everybody. And it's just gonna. One thing I'm gonna say is this is gonna be funny. This pick competition might come down to the Irvington game. It might come down to that Arlington game. Ring guy is coming tomorrow at 10:30. Fax me over. Was it Jocelyn's? I'll fax over my size, and that's it.
Oh God, John, thank you for popping in, and thank you for dressing so nicely.
Yeah, you look sharp, Beelan. You look sharp.
This is courtesy of Coach Sis, who told me Kurt would love this look.
You do. And he's saying Beelan's only a pup. So that's what Coach Sis is saying.
Hey.
Too funny.
All right, guys. We'll see everybody on Friday for our recap
show.